Okay, thank you. And to this Economic Development Committee meeting on 8th of June. Do we have any apologies? One apology for the agenda.
Yep. Member.
Member of the committee.
Oh, he isn't, he's ex officio. Okay. Okay, we don't have any apologies. We'll just move on. Confirmation of the agenda, I will move that. Can I have a seconder, please?
I can second it.
Councillor Naya, all those in favour?
Aye.
Aye. Against? You declare no conflict of interest. We have nobody in the public forum. And so we will move to the minutes of the June 2024 meeting. We're going back some time.
On.
Good.
1 year now.
So, I'm happy to move them as a true and correct record. Do we have a second, please? Councillor Howard, thank you. Any discussion?
Oh, just a question, why we didn't have so many meetings, I mean, for such a long
So do you
time?
have any matters to arise in relation to the minutes of the previous meeting?
No,
No.
thank you.
Okay, anyone else? No, okay. Okay, so we are going to move to the first item on the agenda, in fact, the only item on the agenda, which is the investment tourism website, the June 2025, and you had a link sent out today, which is expired, and I'm not sure whether everyone had the time in that short. Or no? Okay, so what we might do is just hear from, would that be okay, Paul?
Absolutely fine.
You, and then we might just have an adjournment where people can come up to speed with the content.
Yeah, sure.
And then come back in and see where we land in terms of that feedback. The Chief Executive's advised that we are on a bit of a tight time frame, and the reason for that is there are events planned to announce. We'll try to work as fast as we can, but make sure we're happy with what's being done as well. So what I'll do is I'll hand over to you, Paul, and then we'll have an adjournment and have a bit of a closer look at the content, and then we'll reconvene and see where we land with this recommendation.
Fantastic. Thank you, Martin. Yeah, the website, it's been socialised. I'll assume that the reports have been read to see where we are. And so I think to begin with, this website is the first to connect the district. It's never been connected before. East-West conundrum has been addressed. The launch of the website, which will be officially on the 27th of June, is a soft launch. We don't have any budget to make it I know that's been socialised exclusively, especially on the local Facebook page. So I'm not quite sure how many people are going to turn up for that, but I would expect quite a few. And then the following day, on the 24th, we're at the Lighthouse in Dargaville to promote the website there as well. So hopefully that's been promoted quite well over in the Dargaville area. There's a few things communications teams database, of which Misty and I have populated, and hopefully that will generate some interest. What we've done with the website is, I mean, I've got to acknowledge Misty's contribution to this website. Misty has built the website, and that has been an incredible feat. Ago, when Misty and I first had a coffee over in the cafe across the road to talk about our ideas for the future and how welcoming communities could liaise with economic developments to launch a website that would be beneficial to both. And so we did that, we started that. We didn't have any budget, but incredibly over the last 16 months, we've managed to launch a website, and today really is to get we've developed a website from absolutely nothing, from a concept to fruition. And that has been a labour of love that both Misty and I have given an incredible amount of time and effort to over the last 16 months. And I'd like to acknowledge the fact that we've used local suppliers to develop that. Brand with Soul, who were based out of Kindred in Mangawhai. As we've gone forward. We've looked at case studies for the website. So just liven my screen up. So to bring the whole website to life, we thought we'd look at different aspects of life in the Kaipara. So make a living off the land, farming. Moving on up to the Kaipara, a relocation story, city life to a country coast life, coastal living. So we've done that story as well. Life on the harbour, what's it like fishing on the Kaipara? A hybrid worker living in Kaipara while making a living in the city. So we've done that case study as well. And then we've got a whole lot of businesses that we've highlighted and trying to give equity between Dargaville and Mangawhai to make sure that we cover propositions. Well, I think Misty and I have managed to actually pull the two together and promote the pair of them in equity. So I've spoken to a whole range of people. So I've spoken to a surfing guy, for instance, who's going to talk about his story. He's actually a caddy at Tairiti, as well as a surfer. And he surfed with the great Kelly Slater in And then we've got a whole range of businesses. So we've been talking to a whole range of businesses across the district, from Utopia Cafe in Kaiwaka. I'm getting the story on that today. We've had some photographs done recently as well. Bennett's, the chocolate people down here. Pacific Coast Tap Room, Adam Booth's company down here. We've got Compaq over in Dargaville, Fonterra and Silver Ferns. We're doing case studies on them as well. The whole gamut of businesses and life within the Kaipara. I'd just like to bring in one particular interesting story about a company that we're doing a case study on, which was called Easy Access, and both and it's typical of what the Kaipara can produce. There's a company in little old Mangatoroto over there that employs 75 people. They turn over $40 million. They have a projection of $300 million over the next few years. They're building a $10 million expansion to their business which is down the road from Fonterra. They're going to employ another 25 people on top of the 75 people that they out of work, and such a hotbed of talent. The Research and Development Centre is going to be based in Mangatoroto.
Right.
So they build platforms to service aircraft, full of hydraulics and lift processes to get people to be able to paint or service an aircraft. So they're huge in the aviation industry. They are an incredible business. Entrepreneur who was really tapped into an overseas market. They're looking to go into the marine industry for pontoons and so on. But what they build is incredible. I think, Jonathan, we were blown away by the company that we witnessed last Friday. So that is typical of what we can do. So we're going to highlight them as a case study within the website, for instance. Which we're looking to launch sort of 5 stories on the website, case studies before we launch, and hopefully there'll be a whole season of case studies that we can add to the website as we go forward. In addition to that, we've actually done some brand guidelines, and the brand guidelines are really comprehensive. You'll be really impressed when you see. We don't dilute this brand that we've created with this website. What else is there? This website for me becomes a proactive sales tool, so I can talk to people. So, for instance, I spoke to Austrade a few months ago, and they said, "Oh, I'm so glad you called, Paul, because I've never really heard of the Kuiper. What do you do up there?" So this elements within that website, and get them to come up and take note of what we can do here. So within that website, for instance, is for a touring, you know, for a tourism element, you know, you can do a 1, a 3, and a 5-day itinerary within the Kuiper alone. So instead of just traveling through the Kuiper to go up north, you can try and encapsulate people here within the page as a home page. That page will be a video, quite a dynamic video, which will hopefully be there on launch day. We're up against the clock, but we are working, you know, we're quite serene on the top, but our little legs are going like that underneath to try and make sure that we get the website launched to its best potential on the day that it's launched. Yeah, it's a and I think we've got it. The conundrum we have is obviously we've got a soft launch because there's very little budget, but you know, what do we do to maintain the ongoing maintenance and promotion of that website? So that's where I'll be seeking more budget. I've stolen budget from just about everybody in the organisation, from the CEO down, to really make sure that we've got budget to launch. So each case to do, and that includes photography as well. Luckily enough, I've got a journalist that's been perfect with photography as well as writing copy, and each copy is about 1,000 words for each case study. So that's where I'm at the moment.
Chair, would there be questions now or later?
Will be when
I just got one little bit to finish at, and then I've finished. So one thing that came to we really have a fantastic portfolio of imagery, but in the West we don't. So what we'd like to address with that is by finding some budget to get a professional photographer to go and photograph the West and get them on an equal parity with the East, so that we can promote each area equitably, and so that, you know, they're both, you know, so the West Coast in quite detail. And so that's kind of where we find ourselves, having gone through this whole process to get to the point where we are today, which is, I'm so blown away with the progress that we've made. And again, I'd like to thank Misty for developing the website to the point where we've got to, and we've used local talent to get where we've got to as well. So that's kind of me.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you for that, first of all. You elaborated well. The case studies will cost 2K each, and you have limited, I don't know the budget, so, but you said 30K to spend on case studies. I'm just suggesting, would not it be better to ask the people whose studies you're doing, because they do spend a lot of money on their own business.
Yes, of course.
And give you a 1,000 word light. Is no different, and as you mentioned, so we can save those 30K. I'm just trying to, and faster too.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend someone who knows nothing trying to tell me how to run my business and what I'm doing. Second question, you said the East has fantastic portfolio, West has to have photos. I mean, I won't name the people, but we have one of the best photographers there, and one one. I'm just trying to, because I don't know the budget, it's website limited budget. So these are the kind of things I would like to, I'll leave the third question for later. Thank you.
Yeah, so the first question there is really, the first answer rather is, right at this precise moment, at this precise hour, Steve McMillan, our journalist, is talking to Kaipara Kumara right now. And I've dealt with, is it Blundell, Anthony Blundell?
Mm-hmm.
Kumara.
So why we are spending 2K? That's what I'm asking.
Well, that's what it takes to employ a journalist for 2 days, photography, to write the article, to have the meeting, to travel across the district.
Thank you. Well, I have my reservations because I think they'll spend more. Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Lambert, then Councillor Howard.
That's all. Yeah, well, awards,
So the Dargaville,
Dargaville Camera Club,
our camera, yeah.
Ben Bellamy, Jude McKenzie, that they will have a collection of images which have been more than, and they know where they all are.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It saves those miles and that footwork that a journalist's got to do to try and find them.
Yep,
I'll link you up with them. So
fantastic. Thank you.
yeah, they have a whole library of award-winning photographers.
Libraries of photographs, and we've uncovered imagery that, you know, there's some, if you look on the website now, it says stock. There's some stock imagery on there. We need to make sure that that's not stock. It is actually imagery that we can, you know, it's actually filmed within Kaipara. So we're really careful of that. So I spoke to TRI Links yesterday, and they've got a whole load of photography, but a lot of it's in Auckland.
Yeah.
That we've taken is actually filmed within the Kaipara. So if you notice on the bottom right of each photograph, there's a coordinates piece of data there that says this photograph was taken in this particular place. So we've been really, you know, so nobody can accuse us of saying TRI Links is in Auckland.
So one of them's already got it, but another two from that camera club went down and received it. It's an international recognition award for excellence of photography. we'll touch base.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Look, I'm going to start with an accolade because I've already written to Misty, and to thank you both for this. It's really is, to my mind, a step up for the promotion of Paipara in a big way. And I can see, you know, where you elements and the whole story will be told. So I'm really indebted. I think we're all indebted to both of you for what's there. What I'm interested in is in terms of talking about, you know, one of the key things could be our population size, particularly relative to Auckland. So you've talked about the 27,000 to 2050, 2060, through sources, you know, Infometrics, etc.
Yeah.
That you can show that, you know, it's not going to be unbearable looking forward. If people are going to come up because there's a relatively small population.
Yeah, we're creaking all over the place at the moment because of lack of infrastructure and services to cope with the growth that we've got. But so I think we just move along, you know, to try and cope with whatever comes at us. And so we've got. I spoke to an entrepreneur this morning. It was typical of growth that Mangawhai is receiving at the moment, where he's moved up from Auckland to have a lifestyle here. So he's typical of the type of demographic that we're looking for. So real smart. Growth is going to be infinitesimal as we go forward. And all we can do is look at the projections and try and build our growth around those projections.
I just think it's part of the context of, hey, we're a small district.
Yes.
And you know, we're not going to grow to hundreds of thousands.
No.
Is where I was coming from there.
Yeah, so we're a $1 billion economy or just over. We're a very small economy, but we're punching above our weight. And I think this particular website gives us a real ability to grow the region in an incredible way, like it's never been grown before.
So on that, I'm going to ask you the big gargantuan question, I guess. What is your greatest expectation? Who?
Yeah, a
You told-
big, hairy, audacious goal. Yeah. What I'd look forward to is, you know, I know the Tegel story we've had, you know, we discussed that ad infinitum, you know, how that started and how it fell over, and it fell over because of council. But I would love, you know, I'm talking to Fonterra, I'm talking to Silver Fern. It would be great to get another. Whether it's a Tegel, whether it's a Sandfords fish market, like I've been talking to, you know, based over in the Kuiper, if we could do that, you know, a retail and production facility over there. Or I've been talking to a company called AgriSea. I don't know if you know them. They're based over in the Hauraki plains over there. And they're doing stuff around seaweed. So we've got a dirty great big harbour over here, which is producing companies. And if you've read in my economic development strategy, I talk about an incubator. So developing companies from scratch, giving them the great support mechanisms to help them grow their businesses to start off. So in a previous life, I had to start up 200 companies a year. And I did it
Yeah.
A lot of them failed, but a lot of them survived. So we, and to create entrepreneurs
Cool.
and to get people straight from school into entrepreneurship and try and get them to, before they've got any commitments, try and grow a business and just see where it goes.
Well, I think it's impressive the what from what you've told us now that, you know, we employ a third of our own people, you know, in the district. So that's good. We had a guy. But, you know, he'd be, we could dig that out. He was going into a massive investment.
Well,
Over in
It
Darg,
was Moses, just to let you know.
what's his name?
Levitt. Moses Levitt.
Levitt, yeah.
I don't know him, no.
So again, he is someone that would be well worthwhile
Yeah,
to talk to. So I'm sure Ash will give you his contact details.
Thanks, Councillor Howard, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Mr Maris,
Mr Chair,
I just wonder what the best way to proceed here is. Are we going to get a refreshed link to the website?
what we can do for those that haven't had a chance to have a look at the website, we can adjourn for a few minutes, and we can show you the website on there. I know Councillor Howard, you've
No,
obviously.
I mean for us to read it.
Well, we can take you through it.
Email and not have an adjournment.
Are you happy to endorse, because at the end of the day,
I'm not happy to endorse something I haven't read.
okay, so, you know, just, can I sort of set the scene here though?
Yep.
You know, we've got a website here, right? The website is going to change all the time. We're constantly going to change it. It isn't going to come to the committee all the time to get changed. So I appreciate this is the first cut of what it is, and it is still going to go through change since this. So whilst you may want to endorse all the text and the wording and all that sort of stuff within it, it'd be good just to take you through the high level and show you it in an adjournment to get you happy to endorse it at this stage so that we can proceed through with the launch. That's kind of what I'm asking.
Okay, well, I think there are two components to that. Yes, we can go through it at a high level. And I accept that the content will at the beginning to do that as an initial endorsement. So if you want to go through it in a general guide, that's fine. But we then also need to be able to read it to endorse it. So, and that was sent to us yesterday at 8 a.m. I was busy all day and it was not a reasonable time frame to be able to read it. I didn't have time to do it. Before we come back to the meeting. Okay, thank you. If you, we'll just adjourn the meeting now. Thank you, Alana, and then we'll have a run through, okay, at a high level and see where we land.